Hi, my name is Tania and I'm your intuitive soul guide and founder here at Muspa Retreat and Spa, and I'm here to help you to get in touch with your soul. So every Sunday I post a soul card reading video and also an oracle card tip of the week to help you to read the cards yourself. And so if you're interested in the update, so feel free to subscribe to my Instagram or my YouTube channel. Alright, so before we get into this week's card reading, which is for the 23rd to 29th of August, how was the last week for you guys? How did you get to take care of yourself emotionally? So for me, actually, last week has been a really tiring week for me. Don't know why, energy levels just really low. And so to really take care of myself emotionally, I think what I could do with the energy level that I had was just being mindful of like the thoughts that I have, and just to be gentle to myself. You know, it could be so easy to get into that negative inner critic voice telling myself, you know, like, oh, I'm so unproductive, so not efficient, I'm so lazy, and so on. But instead of, you know, really letting the inner critic take over, it's like witnessing these thoughts, witnessing that voice, acknowledging the voice, and, you know, turning up that soul's voice within us, which is like gentle, loving, and, you know, just to say it's okay, you know, it's fine, and take care of myself this way. All right, so let me know how last week has been for you guys. And now we're gonna dive into this week. So before we go into our soul card reading, we're gonna share our oracle card tip of the week. So last week we talked about shuffling cards. So this week we're gonna talk about asking the right question. So it's actually quite important to ask the right question with oracle cards. There are two things I personally believe that oracle cards can't really help you with. One is a question of when. So when I'm gonna get rich, when I'm gonna get a child, when I'm gonna get married, when I'm gonna get boyfriend or girlfriend. Cards cannot tell you that, and even I personally believe, in my humble opinion, nobody can really tell you that about your future, because you have the power to create your own future. You know, everything is in your own hands. What the cards can show, it's like the most possible outcome, right? But if you change whatever that is in the now, everything in the future can change, and everything is possible. Now, the second to that question is, oracle cards is very hard to answer kind of yes, no question. So if your question is from like, do I need to do this? Or, you know, do I have this or that? The cards can't really show yes or no, unless the card itself is a yes card or no card. So what is really the best question to ask is open-ended questions. So start with, you know, like we do, what is the message for me today? If you're deciding between a couple of like, you know, things to, you know, when you're making decisions, maybe, you know, what is the outcome if I do A, and what is the outcome if I do B, and pick two cards so you can compare that way. If you're going through some kind of challenge in your life, you can say, what is my soul lesson, or what's my lesson in this, or how can I overcome this obstacle in my life? So just keep it like an open-ended question when you ask the question in your mind as you're shuffling the cards. All right, so we're gonna go to our card reading now for this week, and we're gonna come back to using the Work Your Light Oracle card deck by Campbell. Okay, so I'm gonna shuffle the cards today, and the question is, of course, what is the message of the week for everyone, including myself, and always for the highest good of all? Okay. All right, that is so funny. We're actually back to the Starseed card again. What lights you up? So this card actually appeared in the very first card reading I did, very first card reading video I did a couple weeks ago, and this is now back again. So it's really imperative now, I feel, you know, to really just follow your heart. You know, this is such a time with the pandemic and everything happening, a time for awakening and a time for transformation and for breakthroughs. And with so many things that are uncertain, you know, and so many plans we can't do, you know, can't go for traveling, you know, can't really plan ahead for like even 1 month ahead. What is that we can do now? You know, like bringing that awareness back to the present moment and just ask ourselves, really tune into our heart center and like, what is it that will bring me joy now? What is that I can do now that brings me joy? What is that lights me up? And again, maybe whatever that comes up has no apparent reason why, maybe no apparent purpose why, and we're just gonna do it for its own sake, right? Because it comes to our mind, we're just going to do it. Follow the guidance from your heart, follow the guidance from your body. Sometimes maybe your body needed to sleep and needed a rest, or wants a massage, or wants to go for a walk, go for a swim, for no apparent reason. And so we're just going to, this week is really all about coming back to what lights you up again. And as I'm looking at the picture of the card as well, it's like this woman, she is looking over, you can see it's almost like a cloud, ocean, or like planet Earth. So there's a sense of also, for me anyway, stepping away from the worldly concerns. You know how this lady, she's looking far away from the world, she's not in the world, she's observing the world. So there's a little sense of also sort of like stepping back of, from being attached to also those worldly concerns, and in a way it's sort of like being in your own world in a sense and not be affected by what's happening around us as much as possible. It doesn't mean, of course, we cannot be completely ignorant and indifferent to what's happening around us, because there's also a reflection of what's going on inside somehow, even on a personal or collective level. But in a way, it's like, when we step back, sometimes it gives us a fresher perspective. We're not so like just tunnel vision into like, I have to do this and I have to, reach my goal, or like I need to, this sort of like tunnel vision, I need to do this. So in a way, there's a sense of freedom when we step back. There's a Chinese saying, I guess, a famous Chinese saying. It means, when we step one step back, suddenly you can see the sky so wide and, the ocean so wide. Basically, you can breathe suddenly, like this sense of freedom. All right, so the key takeaway for this week to review is to continue to follow your heart guidance, what lights you up, what brings you joy, and in the sense of also stepping away from the worldly concern and giving yourself sort of like this fresh perspective of things. All right, so I hope you have enjoyed this week's soul card reading. It is a complete surprise to me, the cards as always, and this card actually came up. And so let me know how it goes for you guys. You can always share in the comments below. And also, as you guys know, I also help with soul card reading. If you want to have your own personalized soul card reading, either just a simple one card reading by email, or face-to-face 60-minute soul card reading session, I can do that. All the details are going to be in the link below in the YouTube description box or in the Instagram bio. All right, so I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week again. Bye.